Okay, so we're gonna talk about car bug out bags. I'm always fascinated by this conversation. I am not an authority on the subject matter whatsoever, but I love always talking to tactical guys and just knowing, what do you keep in a bug out bag? What do you keep in a trunk bag or a home bag? Whatever, you know, there's different bags for different scenarios. And look, let's face it, for most of this, or for most of us, this is something that, hey, we're sort of operating in fantasy territory here about what might happen. Super low odds, but I do like to have a couple bags in the car. So I'll tell you straight up, this is not a weapons bag. This is more a, hey, I broke down in the middle of nowhere bag, or some different scenarios. This is more of a, hey, look, I am in some sort of some sort of real deal situation, a shooting or something happened, and I actually do have some needs now in terms of firepower. So I'll break down separately this bag and this bag. We'll start with this. So again, not a weapons bag. This stays in the car, and it's an Eberlestock Team Elk bag. I'm a big Eberlestock fan. Their bags aren't cheap, but they're really good bags. And actually, relative to what you get from some other companies, I actually think that they're very, very fair value, to tell you the truth. And you can use this for a bunch of different things. I'll sort of break that down a little bit as we get into the bag. First of all, material on the bag, really good in terms of being weatherproof. So if you did get, whatever, we're out here filming right now. For some reason right now, my car took a shit and I got to get at least back somewhere, where we can reach someone. Well, we're gonna be hiking. You get caught in weather. Nice thing about that is like really nice weatherproof material. Couple little things that I keep in my bag. And again, pure novice, amateur, this is fun for me / hopefully not ever needed. Paracord, there's a fishing kit that's wrapped up inside of that. We're really going down the rabbit hole if I need to start fishing in this scenario where I got a flat tire, but who knows. Carabiner, let me tell you something that no tactical guy ever said. I got too much paracord. I've got way too much paracord. They've never said it. I've never said it. That's why I just keep strapping these damn things on the bag. So we'll start breaking this down. I don't have anything in this compartment, but it is a water, it's got these waterproof zippers. So that's nice if you've got something, it could be glasses or a little monocle or something that you need to keep dry. Down here, let's go compartment by compartment. So in this, I'll try to give you guys some light. In this is mostly fire, water purification. So I've got some water purification drops, some waterproof matches. I carry around some tinder because look, I'm gonna be honest, I ain't no expert at this shit, and if I actually had to build a fire, hey, I might need some help. So I keep some tinder in there, and a really good fire striker. So this frankly was an impulse buy at SHOT Show. I saw them doing demos on this and I was like, that is super cool. And they've got a little what is it? Is it actually a mirror? It's probably a magnifying or like a reflection to be able to build a fire. And there's a little compass on there that I will tell you is, yeah, they work, but good secondary fire starter, and then just a whistle, nothing fancy. They're like $1, but at least you can make some noise if you needed to. That is pouch 1. To make my life easy, I'm going to try to keep things fairly organized because I am going to have to figure out how to repack all this later. Let's go here. So I bought this years ago. I assume this company's still around. I couldn't really tell you to be honest, but it's a company called Clearly Filtered. They make some really cool water bottles. So obviously you're gonna need something to keep water in. So I keep that. The cool thing about these is that the bottle is the filter, right? So I could basically just dump this thing into a lake or a river or whatever, throw that in, and hey, I'm good to go. I can drink. And good filters. They even have one of these that was set up for, I'm blanking out on the name of the material. Basically, if a nuke went off and now we're all dealing with radiation, basically one that would filter that out. So pretty cool. They make some neat stuff. Also in there, I just keep one more water bottle. That one has got water. It's probably been the same water for the last 3 years, so probably not advisable to drink that. It's actually some Costa Ludus swag, Premier Training 2017. That bottle's held up well, so we've got that pouch. On the other side here, we have got, so you'll figure this out about me pretty quickly. I'm an organization person. I like shit organized. So I tend to, instead of having stuff loosely floating around, I like using separate pouches for everything. I got the bag pouch, but then I've got an actual pouch for all the stuff. So pretty much I believe all these that I have in here from Kifaru. Kifaru makes some really high-end bag. They're really a bag competitor to Eberlestock, but I would, you know, and they may even be better bags. I don't know. I'm a little partial to Eberlestock, but definitely in terms of what you get for the money, I'd say Eberlestock over Kifaru, but they do make these little pouches that are cool. So mix match of stuff in here, little Right in the Rain journal that's waterproof, keep a Sharpie in there, some extra batteries for Surefire weapons light, any of that kind of stuff with a Surefire. This one is a little on the older side, P2X Fury. No, it's 500 lumen light, so I don't like the two-stage stuff with the like 15 lumen and the 500. I just like one solid beam for the most part. So that's straight 500 lumen light. Man, now I'm really gonna look like a prick. So two chem lights, green and red. Why? Just because that's operator shit, you know? It's like, what is it, like red you're dead, green, I don't know what the thing is, but that's not the expression. I just don't know what the expression is, but it's almost comical that I've got a red and a green. But a couple chem lights. I've got too much paracord, said no man ever in human history. So got some more paracord there, and fuck it, throw some more in paracord. Just, I haven't been through this in a while, so this is kind of fun for me. I like having a little backup folder that's a little Spyderco that, you know, nothing super expensive, but good lights, or good knives, especially for the money. So I like keeping a little folder in there. A couple little mini rolls of duct tape for whatever you might need to duct tape. And I do like having, I probably lean a little heavy on water purification, but the life straws, I think these are pretty standard things in most of our bags now. But the concept being, hey, look, throw that thing in a puddle or whatever and start sucking. You guys get where I'm going with that. Don't make any inappropriate jokes. And a compass, because, hey, look, I'm not the world's best navigator. I can barely find my way home at night, so definitely need a compass. And that was a gift to me back in the day, but it's, you know, one of those things where it's a pen. Oh, well, that's not good. Well, I guess that's what happens when you leave these things in your bag forever. That definitely has busted. So my pen is officially no longer a pen and might not even, yep, we'll screw back together. Yep, that is completely fucked. So this is what happens when you go through your bug out bag every 5 years. That is, we are just gonna leave that. It's a glass breaker, and I think maybe there's a screwdriver or something in there. I'm gonna put that in the list of things that we probably don't need anymore. All right, next pouch, or next thing in this sleeve over here. I keep a poncho just because, hey, look, you know, I'm not rolling with a tent in here. I'm not going like full commando. I've gone into the wilderness, but something that is waterproof to be able to throw on yourself, you know, a heavy duty poncho. And at least in these rainy environments where we live out here in mountain climates, I do think it's a good idea. If we flip over to this side of the bag, so up top here, this is the one pouch that is less organized. Keep some pepper spray, you know, just for the scenarios where you might need to pepper spray someone. Some quick clot. Keep one of these little emergency candles that burns for, what, 36 hours. So, you know, something that could easily catch fire if need be. Like I said, I'm no expert, so I keep a little survival guide in there if I actually had to reference something. I keep a little solar powered, solar, but, you know, hand crank radio that's a light, and a radio and a couple things like that. So, you know, we've got to be in the weeds for me to actually need something like that, but that's kind of what these things are about. And then just a little bit of a bivy sack, something to stay a little bit warm if I actually had to sleep out in a cooler environment at night. I'll show you how you can get a rifle in this as we go. I will say this, in terms of comfort, these things are phenomenal to wear around. So the whole system here, not this is actually, these pads are actually sewn in, but all of the rest of this in terms of where the shoulder straps go, that's all modular. So basically, I'm not going to do it because they're a pain in the ass to get back in. You just pull that out and you will see it operates on a ladder system, right? So if you wanted to you know, your frame requires you go all the way up top, cool, and it goes all the way down to there. So this whole shoulder system, really, that's the range in terms of how tall, how short you can make this. This belt, right, I leave in, because definitely if, you know, this is not ultra heavy, but it's fairly heavy, that belt's definitely gonna help alleviate that. But if you didn't want that for some reason, that's just Velcroed in, and you can literally just pull that thing out, and then you don't have a belt. I keep the most like relevant things inside these little belt pouches here. And so, you know, when you're out and you're really surviving, you never know when you might need a Sour Heads Bang energy drink. And I love these, man. Let me tell you, because there's times, look, cocaine doesn't always cut it. And sometimes you got to step it up a notch. And when you do, Sour Heads Bang energy. You go to your local grocery store or 1911syndicate.com, you can use our promotion code and get 50% off. That's what could happen if Bang Energy would hurry up and get back to me on my sponsorship. Until then, we'll keep surviving. Huh? You get it? You get it, everyone? We'll just keep surviving, since we're doing a survival video here. Now, the pouch, or the pack, then to get into the middle of this bad boy, pack on clips. That is basically, you've seen the extent of what's happening up here. And then we've got another to cinch this bad boy down. We've got a nice little pouch here. You can get whatever. I don't have anything in there. And then we get into the meat of the pack. So again, I think a lot of this is based on climate. I swear to God, if any of you break into my car because of this, I keep a little bit of just cash in here. And if you want to go pure comedy, since this is now just going to be a comedy video once I say this, I keep some quarters in here. Why do I keep some quarters in here? Because I used to shoot with people who are just like totally full of shit, and I've kind of learned that over time, but they always had quarters on them in case they got into whatever, like some real shit just went down, man, and I can't use my cell and I gotta go hit a payphone. So I keep quarters in there so I can make calls from a payphone. That is the biggest crock of shit that, and yet I've talked to other people who are like, yeah, I do the same thing. I'm like, God, I think maybe we're all full of shit then. Like, we are all just completely psycho. I do like to have a little cash that I keep in the car though. So we got a couple pouches up here, this, another pouch here. Like, they deck these packs out. I keep a little bit of a shell in here. That is from Katanica. Yeah, it was from Katanica actually. That was a SHOT Show buy. Weatherproof, fairly warm, doesn't take up a lot of space, so I do like to keep that, especially climate dependent. That's one of those things that comes in handy. Another pouch. In this pouch we have got mostly clothes. So we've got a a balaclava, as if, you know, I don't know, what am I, robbing banks? Like, what? I don't know, man. We've all got goofy stuff. That's why it's fun to see what people carry, because it's all goofy. It's all goofy, man. Keep a base layer for up top. Keep some long underwear in case it's the winter. Always keep a backup pair of like hiking smart wool socks. I like to keep a couple extra pairs of shoelaces, because that's definitely one of those things where you could be up shit creek real quick. A backup t-shirt, and that's just, you know, like a little sweat wicking thing you wear around your head and neck, whatever. Keep some sweat off of you. I don't like these belts at all. They're real clunky, but you know, I had it and I would like to have a backup belt, so I do keep a nice rigid belt back there. And I keep a backup pair of glasses. Man, geez, I forgot it. Man, those are good glasses. Why the hell am I keeping nice glasses in this bag that I never unpack? And that's what's in that pouch. Next pouch. Oh, I think I know what is in here. So just for the sake of at least a little bit of preparation, I do keep, so I keep a box of 223 in there. RIP Prime Ammo. I don't know how things are going with their situation now, but they did make very good ammo. So given that sometimes there might be an AR, you know, again, weapons bag, this is more of like survival, extra close, stuff like that. Sometimes there's an AR, almost all the time there's an AK. So I keep a backup box of 223, but I also keep a box of 7.62 because that's what my AKs are chambered in. So just a box of ammo for each, just dependent on what's in there if it really came down to it and I actually needed some extra ammo. Keep a couple boxes of 9, so that's just 40 rounds of 9. That's Corbon DPX, which is really good shit for those of you guys who are in the know on that. I've got a backup. Honestly, I've not been through this bag in a while, so there's a backup AR mag and a 17 round Glock 17 mag, even though a decent amount of the time it's not a Glock on me or an AR on me, but you get where I'm going with this. Just a little bit of hedge of bets, and for some reason I needed that stuff. All right, that's that pouch. Getting towards the end here, med kit. So, you know, pretty fairly all-encompassing med kit that would have most of the things any of us would need. Food-wise, I keep one of those 36 hours, you know, it's like 1,200 calories a day, 3,600 calories, so it's like 1,200 calories a day for 3 days. Super compact, doesn't weigh much. I mean, I'm sure it would be horrible to actually have to eat these things, but in terms of like, you actually need to survive, but you don't want to take up a lot of space, pretty cool stuff. And those are just SOS Food Labs. It's been a while since I've seen that. And last thing is I like keeping a fixed blade. Now, I will tell you, this knife is borderline in the category of comical, but I do actually really like this knife. Keep a multi-tool in there. It's one of those things, most guys, like, we like to have a multi-tool in us. Do we ever use it? No, not really. Not really. We never use our multi-tool. We like having it though. And if you do, you're probably like actually working construction and something. The rest of us, it's a critical part of our lives that never gets used. So I keep a Tops. I used to be kind of a Tops whore. So I actually still think this is a really cool knife. Is it completely overkill and obnoxious? Yes, absolutely. It's heavy, it's a bit clunky. So it's a Steel Eagle, right? It's almost John Rambo territory, like obnoxious, but it's cool, okay? And I mean, the cool thing about the micarta handles too, like they get more grippy as they get wet or oily or whatever it may be. So these are really cool. I do like having a fixed blade just because, you know, if you actually had to chop at some stuff, a little folder is probably not going to get the job done too well. In terms of the pack itself, that's what I keep in here. A couple little things about the pack. So obviously this is designed for hunting elk. So the way that basically is supposed to happen is you can, we're not really going to go through the whole thing. You don't really need to see how you pack out an elk on this, because that's probably not what, I guess some people are using it for that, but I don't feel like going down that rabbit hole. One cool thing I will show you though, it's kind of an Eberlestock thing, is so if you pull that out and you unzip up here, now you get a rifle all the way through your pack. So if you said, hey, look, you know, I can't carry two packs, you know, I really had to flee my car and we're out in the wilderness, I can't carry that pack with the rifle and this pack, no problem, right? I can easily transfer that rifle into this sleeve, and now I can carry rifle and all my kit on me. And would it be heavy? Yeah, sure, but I would have everything that I need. And I'm sure there's other companies doing this now, but I know Eberlestock's been doing that game for a while. I think they might have been the OG guys who were doing built-in rifle sheaths. So it's a cool pack. I've been a big fan of it, even though I've killed 0 elk in it. I did go elk hunting, just killed 0 elks with the elks. Jesus Christ. Elk with the assistance of this pack. And that's all the stuff that I keep in here. Hey everyone, thanks so much for watching. Please subscribe to our channel while you're here. Maybe like, leave us a comment. If you leave us a nasty comment or you leave us a thumbs down, that might be the lowest form of human interaction these days. Who leaves a thumbs down on a YouTube video? But subscribe. You can find us on YouTube, Outspoke, Full30.com, 1911 Syndicate. It's very simple. If you're a podcaster, you just like listening to audio in your car, you can search the Syndicate Minutes on Apple, Google, Spotify, and you can always find us on Instagram, Facebook, all those good things. Just search 1911 Syndicate, and we'll hang out. Come on, we'll hang out with each other online. Let's become friends. Come on, just do it. Go, do it now.